Innovation is everywhere, from how we engage with natural resources to evolving transportation and creating industry defining technologies. BC innovators are putting their mark on tomorrow and addressing the crucial social, economic, and environmental challenges we face around the world. And at Innovate BC, we help foster the ideas and solutions emerging out of our province so that all British Columbians can benefit from a thriving and inclusive innovation economy. So, what does that mean? We're advocates of innovation, champions of changemakers, relationship builders and community connectors, drivers of ecosystem data, and storytellers. We work to create more opportunities for everyone to participate in our innovation ecosystem, working with strategic partners in BC and beyond. And our programs are designed to connect innovators to the resources they need to succeed. Looking to start and scale your business? Or learn how to navigate human resources, digital marketing, or intellectual property? We'll connect you with experts in your field and mentors to help your business grow. Need funding? Our grant programs can help you hire talent, commercialize your research, and validate your technology. Searching for innovative solutions to your most pressing challenges? Tap into our network of BC's most promising innovators and solution providers. We help companies large and small across industries drive innovation forward because BC is the best place to start, grow, and invest for tomorrow. Begin today and grow your idea with us. Innovate BC.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Innovate BC. My name is Michelle. I'm joining from Amiskwaci, Waskahigan, Edmonton Treaty 6 territory. Feel free to put in that chat box where you're joining from this afternoon. We're honored that you have joined us. It is Tuesday. It is fall in the air here. I love fall weather. This is my season. So I hope you are enjoying your day so far. I just always think it's important just to take a moment. You know, life is busy for all of us. It's go, go, go. There's so much work that needs to be done in our organizations, our nations, communities. But I think it's always important just take a moment to press pause, acknowledge the gifts that Creator has given to us. I think this gift today of being able to meet online, virtual from all across the country, just to learn and to hopefully understand what another organization is doing. And so we got two amazing guest speakers that have joined us this afternoon. So that's awesome. But also beyond that, what is the goodness that's going on around you, where you live? I know I always love to look at our relatives, the rabbits. They're starting to change color as that season is changing. So just take a moment just to appreciate what is going on around you in Creator's worlds. All right. Well, I'm delighted to introduce our two guest speakers. They are from Indigenous Clean Energy. So we got Corey, who is going to chat with us about bringing it home, who is one of the managers. And then we got Abu, who is going to speak to us about the 2020 Catalyst program. So just a little bit about the organization or what's happening. Just a little bit. Y'all probably are here because you read a little bit about it, but Bringing It Home is an Indigenous-led initiative to enable and implement healthy, energy-efficient homes and facilities and First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities. The initiative supports communities in embedding practices, approaches, and policies that will create long-term and sustainable improvements to housing. Bringing It Home largely focuses on building capacity to empower communities to take on community-scale retrofit projects and new building housing projects while respecting their unique, I love this, their unique cultural and climate differences. Love it. And then the 2020 Catalyst programs is an extensive or intensive Indigenous clean energy capacity building program unlike any other. The program provides practical and applied learning about renewable energy projects, community energy planning, energy efficiency and conservation, business management, and advanced energy systems. In addition, participants are supported to move clean energy projects forward on the ground. Holy, so there's a lot that's going to be talked about this afternoon. I feel like let's be prepared to be amazed, because I just read a whole bunch of goodness. So we're really honored that you could take some time today with us, gentlemen, just to share what's going on with the programs that you're involved in. So a little bit about Corey. Corey works to grow Indigenous energy efficiency capacity to improve housing and quality of life for communities across Canada. So he strives to support ICE initiatives that aim to help Indigenous communities lead the way to a more cleaner, more sustainable, and environmentally friendly future. We love that. So a little side note about Corey: when he's not working, you can find him enjoying outdoor activities like camping, fishing, hunting, or golf. So hunting is your season, isn't it, Corey? All right, and then our next guest speaker with the 2020 Catalyst program. He is the senior coordinator. So a little bit about Abdu. He has delivered cultural heritage workshops locally and internationally. So we got an international speaker in the house today. He is passionate about sustainability, viewing things from a life cycle perspective. When he's not at work, you can find him behind a camera, in the garden, or fermenting bubbly concoctions in the kitchen. Love it. So welcome, both of you. Feel free, our other guests, feel free, if you have any questions along the way, put them in the chat box, but we will open up the floor at the end of their presentation for any discussion, questions, comments. We love to hear from you. So that's it for me. I'm going to pass this virtual mic off to the both of you. Thank you for being here.
Amazing. That was quite the introduction. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so as you mentioned, I'm Corey Cote. I'm from Kitigan-Zibi, Anishinaabe in Quebec, about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Ottawa. Currently based here out of Ottawa on my home territory. So I'm Algonquin, and on my mother's side, I'm Mohawk on my father's side. So yeah, happy to jump in here and get us kicked off. So today I'll be talking about the Bringing It Home program and our new project accelerator that is supporting the uptake and development of Indigenous energy efficiency housing projects. Before I jump into that, though, I first want to give a quick overview to Indigenous Clean Energy, or otherwise known as ICE. So yeah, we're a nonprofit, Indigenous-governed organization who primarily we work to support First Nation, Métis, and Inuit clean energy participation in every region of Canada, and that's done to advance Indigenous and broader sustainable prosperity. So we have program participants basically from coast to coast to coast. Specialty, really, what we do, a lot of our work is towards providing clean energy capacity building and project development support for communities who are interested, communities and individuals who are interested in clean energy. We support Indigenous youth clean energy leadership. We help build connections for clean energy impact, and we share knowledge and foster collaboration between communities. So, I mean, in everything we do, we try to connect it to community as much as possible. That either by creating a community amongst our participants, we get out on the land whenever possible. We're always in community as much as possible. We like to ingrain culture and throughout our programming and making sure like that's included in this learning because that's valuable. And yeah, so I mean that's a bit about us. And so we have many different programs at ICE. Today we'll be talking about Bringing It Home, and Abu will talk about the 2020 Catalyst program. But I would recommend checking out our website. We have a couple of youth programs that would be amazing to speak to as well. Yeah, so with Bringing It Home, I'll give you a bit of a history of Bringing It Home and what brought us to develop that Project Accelerator program that we're actually now running. So we're a national Indigenous-led initiative working to scale up energy efficiency efforts in Indigenous communities. So we started out by working with a few guide community projects, and we supported them through those initiatives and helped them get their projects off the ground. And so we took learnings, best practices that we found through those projects and sort of I don't want to say documented it, but we were sort of building resources and tools and guides and things like that we can share more broadly with others, and it's all widely accessible through our online portal. We've collected a lot of input and discussed with Indigenous leaders, Indigenous communities, experts, as well as Indigenous organizations and industry experts about energy efficiency. And so a lot of our program was sort of molded based on the feedback and what we've heard from those people and our partners and our participants. So I mean, it's been a lot of learning as we go, but we're building the program to be as impactful as possible. Ideally, that's the hope. So a lot of collaboration and sharing knowledge is a key point for bringing it home and being able to scale energy efficiency, so we can do this work for all homes and communities in Canada, and to build the community capacity so that these projects are going to stick and not just be a one-off. You do one project, you do a few homes, and that's it. Like, we want to really evolve the way communities are approaching housing. So why are we doing that? I mean, housing is an issue in nearly every community across Canada. Overcrowding, unhealthy living spaces caused by mold and indoor air issues, high energy costs, homes that are not durable and not lasting as long. I mean, the list goes on, right? So like these are different things that we're seeing. And our program is trying to support evolving housing practices in communities to sort of counteract this and help improve on this. So I mean, our participants will have an opportunity to actually grow this capacity and lead this work and become the next generation of experts and mentors, but also they're making real impacts at their community level. And so that's really what's driving my motivation anyway, and what really drives the program. Yeah, that's the motivation that I have, at least. And so I do want to make it, I want to emphasize that when it comes to Indigenous housing, we realize there's a ton of or how should I say, we realize that efficiency is not often the top priority. So it's important to remember that we're approaching housing with a view of energy efficiency as a tool to achieve homes that are what you see on the screen here, healthy. So you're improving the indoor air quality and preventing detrimental living conditions such as mold and deficient heating and draftiness, things that make people sick. You're improving the durability of homes. So, I mean, if you're actually able to do a retrofit and extend the life of a home by 10 years, that's 10 more years that a community has a house. So they're able to build up a housing stock, their housing stock, and they can start addressing housing shortages. And I mean, we've heard from the First Nations National Building Officers Association that some on-reserve homes are their lifespan is like 7 to 15 years, which is crazy compared to an off-reserve home, which they're 30, 40, 50 years. So I mean, there's a sort of a cycle there that's happening that we're trying to break. And they can incorporate cultural design features into homes when you're starting right from the design process. Homes that are using a lot less energy have a lot less impact in terms of GHG emissions, those sorts of things. That's what you can achieve through efficiency. So it is housing, but we're sort of taking a different approach. And another thing, since these are long-term projects that we're trying to support, could be 5, 6, 7, 10 years. That's like, there's job opportunities that can come out of these projects, because I mean, a 10-year project, that's work for 10 years once you do the training and get your local people trained. So I mean, that's another opportunity that's not even listed there. So just covering some of the challenges and implications, consequences. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but just to give you an idea, like things like poor building practices. So you're building to the minimum standard, and then you're having higher long-term costs when it comes to energy and repairs and maintenance. And that could lead to a couple of different things like unaffordable homes, unsustainable homes, they're uncomfortable. So, I mean, that's just give a couple of examples. And so it's this cycle that I mentioned, challenges, implications, and consequences. So what we're trying to do is sort of wedge in energy efficiency there to break that cycle so that we can create homes that are affordable and healthy. So all of that to say is we developed a Bringing It Home Project Accelerator program, and this is where we are right now. We're actually currently running our first cohort. So it's an 18-month program, and the key focus here is on capacity building. So we offer a series of like 6 webinars. We do 2 weeks of in-person intensive training. At the same time, like that's while the project development is happening. So it's really to support the startup and development of these projects. So while they're doing that, you're getting this training, but you're also getting ongoing project coaching, you're getting one-on-one mentorship, you're getting expert guidance, and you're getting an extra through our program, an access to a national network of experts and mentors. So many different layers of support here to support communities actually undertake these projects. And I didn't even mention that we offer $125,000 in project development grants to actually support communities going out and doing the work that needs to happen to create a project plan, and then being able to pursue, you know, new investments, grants, funding, and loans for the actual implementation. So I'll just kind of give quickly here a brief overview of how it works. So I mentioned it's an 18-month program. It's a 2-phase program. So the first phase is that project kickstart. It's really that webinar series. You get some mentorship. We give $25,000 project grant, but it's really about supporting this early stage project work. It's understanding where you are as a community right now, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, and building a vision of where you want to go with your housing. Beyond that, I mean, there's building a project team, doing the community engagement. We want to make sure that that is happening at each stage of the project, and that it's guiding the project direction. So that's something that's built in. And then the community, collecting your community energy and housing information is important as well, to really understanding of, you know, where are you right now? Where do you want to go, and sort of where are the gaps, and what do you need to get there? So that's really what that first phase is all about. The second phase is 12 months. It's really that heavier, it's the meat of the program, I guess you can say. It's the project development. So we have the 2 weeks of on-site in-person training, the one-on-one mentorship, and then we give in installments $100,000 project development grant as some deliverables through our program are met. And yeah, that's really about essentially building your project plan. So, you know, you're developing all your timelines, your budgets, your training and employment plan, your engagement schedules, you're estimating all of your costs, you're doing your energy audits, all of that's sort of worked into our curriculum. And through the project mentorship, if you need assistance with any one of these things, like we can connect you with someone who has that experience so that you can actually get the support that you need to actually, you know, develop your project. So we're trying to have a bunch of different layers of support here, and yeah, I mean, it's really exciting that we're currently at the end of phase 1 right now with our first ever cohort, and it's going really well. We're gearing up for our first on-site in November next month in BC at Harrison Hot Springs. And then we have our second on-site week-long training in Wakefield, Quebec, which is just across the river here from in Ottawa. All of this, the week-long training and the webinars and everything, these were all delivered. The whole curriculum is being delivered by Indigenous leaders, experts, mentors, people who have that project experience. We're bringing them all together. It's been like two and a half years of reaching out and connecting and networking with these people to understand like their strengths and understand where the expertise is, so we can actually bring them together to deliver this program, and so it's impactful and valuable for our cohorts. So yeah, and then the program impacts, I mean, this is essentially what we're hoping to, you know, each participant's leaving the program with. So you're having the capacity to lead an energy efficiency project. You've gained literacy and knowledge of financing, but at the one at the bottom there is the main thing, is we want each participant coming out of the program with an energy efficiency project underway. so that they're able to actually work towards implementation now. And you know, they've built capacity, they've done the training at the community level, they've done the engagement, they have their vision, and they're ready to sort of take it from there. So I will let you know, like, we're in our first cohort. So far it's going very good. We're in the early stages of talking through our timelines for the next cohort. Best estimate I could give right now is sometime in mid 2024. So we will keep you up to date on that once those open. The application window is usually about 3 months, because, and I'll talk about it here in a second, or I'll talk about it now actually. The application process, it's about 3 months long, so you have a lot of time to apply, but we intentionally made the application process a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more just blanked out on my word, but we intentionally designed the application to encourage you to connect and engage with your leadership and your housing department, so that you're actually talking with, so you're going to collect and we're asked questions about your housing and energy, something that you as a participant applying you might not always know. So you'd have to connect with your community, because it's sort of a two-phase application. So there's a project lead who we're calling project stewards. That's our cohort. They're coming in, taking all of the training in the program, but these projects we want them to be community based. So we want to make sure that this person is being supported by their community or organization. I should mention that this is open to all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit communities, but it's also open to Indigenous housing providers. So if there's a housing provider off reserve who has units for Indigenous housing, this program is open to you as well. So yeah, those are the people that it's available to. So we designed the application in that way, so that it's the project's steward. Their commitments is that they're going to take all of the training, and they're going to actually be the one leading the project work, the project development, and being that sort of catalyst. I don't want to steal the word catalyst from you, Abu, but sort of that leader in the project. And then the commitment of the community is that they're giving formal project support. And so when we assess our applications, like we ask for letters of support from the community for the project steward, but also a commitment to actually go out and do a project, right? Like we're the levels of support that we're offering, we want to make sure that communities are coming in and they're actually wanting and ready to move a project forward. We also ask for them to no, I think that's about it. Yeah, letters of support and that commitment. We need to see that commitment. And then we do an interview process with the project steward, just to make sure that they're fully committed. And then we have our ICE advisory council who works like with sort of at the board here at ICE to help us assess the applications and go from there. So that's coming up mid 2024 is the best guess I can give you at this time. But yeah, it's first cohort's underway. It's going really well, and I'm looking forward to getting this going for years to come. But really, I think you can find out more about this program and keep an eye on any updates at indigenouscleanenergy.com. And feel free to follow us on all of the socials. We have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, or x.com, or whatever it's called now. Yeah, I'll end it there. I do have a slide here for questions, but I realize like I don't want to take up all the time. Maybe I'll let Abu jump in here, do your presentation, Abu, and then we can take questions at the end.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. I will stop sharing my screen, and yeah, thank you anyways for listening, and yeah.
Give me 2 seconds here. Okay. How's that running? Everyone can see that? Perfect. Okay. Let's talk about the 2020 Catalyst program. Let's get into it. So the 2020 Catalyst program, Corey covered some of the things I'll be talking about. So you'll see there are some similarities and some differences between the programs. But as Michelle already mentioned sort of in the introduction, so the 2020 Catalyst program is sort of ICE's award-winning and capacity building program that provides our participants, or catalysts as we like to call them, with practical and applied learning about clean energy projects. So this first came about back in 2015 when ICE was formed. Our founding executive director, Chris Henderson, at the time was working a lot in consultation with Indigenous communities who were working on clean energy projects. And it became apparent that there was a clear gap in programs or supports for capacity building in these communities. There was desire in a lot of communities to develop clean energy projects and to move towards a more sustainable future. But there was a sort of a gap there in any resources to help the communities build the capacity in that space so they could do that. And that's when the Catalyst program was formed. The first cohort was in 2016. We've since been through 6 cohorts of the program. So the program, very much like the Bringing It Home program, sort of works on providing catalysts with tools and resources, as well as a community to develop their skills and sort of work towards those clean energy projects within their communities. So looking more at the format of the program, it's a little bit different than Bringing It Home. So we cover content that goes through the entire clean energy development process as our participants are coming in at various stages of their process, as various stages of their experience. So we sort of cover everything very broadly. So we start all the way from community energy planning. We touch on things like energy education, how to do community engagement, building your energy team. We go to project development side of things. So we talk about financing, we talk about feasibility studies, we talk about partnerships and how to work with utilities. And then we go all the way to things that happen more towards the end of the project. So, when you're in the construction phase, how do you generate employment locally for the project? How do you use those project earnings to reinvest back into the community or future projects? And so we cover all things sort of within that spectrum. So our program entails 3 week-long on-site intensives. So it takes place roughly over a 6-month period. And so we'll meet for 1 week, 3 different times in different places across the country. So for example, for the 2023 cohort this past year, we started off in Mi'kma'ki in the Cape Breton area, in Nova Scotia, then we were in Saskatchewan, and we finished off in the Vancouver area of British Columbia. But each of these on-sites is intensive. That's why we call them intensives. It's really sort of a buckle down time where everyone gets together, and we have in-class learning that covers various things. We have storytelling and sharing from other Indigenous clean energy experts who've done projects in their communities and can share their lessons learned and their journeys. We run different workshops, and we also have project tours where we can see local Indigenous clean energy projects and how those look both in that area, and then you can also contrast it somewhat as to how the approaches differ in different areas across the country. In between the on-sites, we also have webinars that sort of supplement and build on the various learnings we do on-site. So it might preempt something that we're going to do in the next on-site, or it might be building on something that we've touched on previously. And we also have mentorship from clean energy experts who've worked either in or with community, and they're just there to help guide the catalysts and help them along their journeys and answer questions they might have. But the real power of the program, I believe, comes from the network. So a lot of people who are coming into this space, if you're a community energy champion, you're sometimes one person in a community, and it can feel very isolating and hard to find resources and help in that sense. And having the connection not only to the 20 or so people in your cohort who are going through similar things and working through similar challenges, but you'll also have access to all of the previous catalysts and mentors, and that's the really, really big resource and can help sort of broaden the perspective and make things feel a little less daunting as you're approaching these clean energy projects. So as Corey mentioned, in all of our programs, we have representation from coast to coast to coast. We've been through 6 iterations of the Catalyst program and have had over 120 people finish the program. And so you can see we have representation from all over the country. And we try every year to have as much of a spread representation as we can yeah, so it's great. You see different challenges coming from different areas. Some communities are off grid, some communities are connected to the grid. They have different climates and you have different situations, and so the challenges are all unique, but the goal is very similar amongst everyone. So I just wanted to highlight some of the work that a couple of catalysts from the past year are doing, just to give you an idea. Again, everybody has a different journey. All our catalysts come to us, from different positions in their projects or in their life, and so there's no one specific way to get there. But Drew Bernard, he's from Lennox Island First Nation in PEI. He's the energy lead for Lennox Island First Nation. So Drew, actually, before he came to the program, had started an energy efficiency initiative in his community, and they completed energy audits of all of the community homes and buildings and installed 65 heat pumps to work on taking their community away from sort of a fuel oil heating situation and work on the electrification of that to reduce greenhouse gas emissions for their home heating. Since the completion of the program, he's finalized a partnership with Natural Forces. So they're working on 18 megawatt wind farm out in PEI, and that's really, really exciting. And he's also working on a 30 plus megawatt solar project that's still on its way. So there's a lot of exciting things coming out of a relatively small community out in PEI. So, you don't have to be a big community to be part of some big projects. And on the other side of things, another 2023 catalyst, Serena, she's from Six Nations of the Grand River. She works at Sacred Earth Solar. And so she is a super accomplished person. She has a master's of geography and environment and is the co-chair of the 7-Gen Indigenous Youth Energy Council. But so she's been working on several solar projects through her work there with various communities. And recently, last week, they just installed a solar array at a healing lodge with an organization called No More Silence, which works around the issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women. And so they have a healing lodge there that they're working on creating for families and people affected by that. And so they just installed a solar array there last week, and it's very exciting to see some of their projects moving forward. So you might be wondering, am I the right person to apply? How do I fit into the program? You don't have to be, an expert to get into the program. And I'm going to talk about a few things that are about our ideal candidates. But even if you don't feel like you necessarily fit in all of these categories, these are just some ideals we have. We still encourage people to apply. And then there is an interview and process that we'll go through there, similar to what Corey was talking about. So we'll get all the applications, we will interview the candidates, and then we will also get advice from our advisory council as well for the final selections. But some of the sort of precursors, if you want to apply to the program, you have to be 18 plus to participate. So some other things is, are you working on a renewable energy project with or for Indigenous community? You could also be coming from the side of you're working in industry. That's we've had some participants from that side as well. But the focus is really on communities and communities being involved in clean energy projects. Another big thing, as Corey mentioned, is there that support? Is this an individual coming forward, or is this an initiative that the community and the leadership really wants to push forward? So is there that support for the participant and for the project from the community side? And then ideally, we're looking for people who have a little bit of experience. Again, it doesn't have to be specifically in clean energy. It can be in economic development. It can be in other sorts of project management or energy. But if the project is a little bit underway, that's sort of an ideal point to hop onto the program and help get the supports to take you from the start and work your way through. I just wanted to share a video. So this is from our third on-site that happened this past year in July. Just some catalysts talking about their experience with the program. Please let me know if it's running properly, if you can see everything. Can you hear it? Can you see it? I've muted my whole thing.
Reuniting with my new friends, my new colleagues, and it was really good. It's good to see them again. Actually, I just really missed them. I imagine everybody feels the same now. So.
There was a lot of excitement to come together for the third week. I think we've all had a really inspiring summer all together. We've all created a community together, a bond that we will be there for each other if we need the support when it comes to our projects, when it comes to our professions, when it comes to personal life. I've definitely made some long-lasting connections, and so to be able to come to week 3, finish our learning together in the Catalyst program, and to celebrate the journey that we have been on together, yeah, it's been life-changing.
So I'm from northern Quebec, and during the pandemic we were super isolated. We weren't able to fly out, we weren't able to get anyone in. I haven't been used to doing big group events, and I was super nervous for the first one in Nova Scotia, and then we got to know each other, and the group is just so amazing. And then we got together in Saskatoon again and made friends that I'm gonna be keeping in touch with forever, and I feel like they're my family now, so it's good. I love it.
This is our third week, so I was super excited to see everybody. Our first week was about getting to know each other. By the second week, we already missed each other. And by the third week, I think everybody is very excited, but already a little bit apprehensive about the fact that this is our last week together. And it's been an amazing time, but it already seems like it's ending too fast.
In a small town with just like you always wanted to do, but I could not give that life to you. I don't wanna hold you back.
The program is intense, energizing, exhausting, exciting, reuniting with the catalysts, and the development of our relationship over time as we come together for weeks at a time and dive into the myriad of problems that we're trying to frame and find solutions for as it relates to energy. And our own community's energy vision is inspiring. And for me, it's very refreshing to come together with a group of Indigenous people from across the country who are all aligned or like of one mind. The power of the collective mind and bringing people together is something that for me, it fills me back up. The work is exhausting in and of itself, trying to overcome bureaucracy, barriers, and it can be draining on your spirit. So to come together, I feel like it's a family reunion already.
Tell me where you wanna go. She said she don't wanna go. Ain't no rush and we can take it slow.
You don't need to say no face. No way, gonna get it like you
do right now? What you wanna do right now? I see forever with you, shit always better with you, never would ever with you. Wanna spend all of my favorite weathers with you. I said it is true, yeah. I wanna come, I wanna stay, I want it all, want it every day. Watch the seasons change.
One thing that I've found is that we're all so different, and we all come from really different circumstances, different communities, different cultures, different languages, different provincial governments, different relationships with the federal government. But all of the goals that we have around energy transition and just transition are really similar, and the networks that we're creating have been invaluable in the work that we're going to be doing for our communities. So I feel that this program is doing a lot to bridge the gaps that have been created by colonization and the dividing of our different nations.
I am a 2016 Catalyst, so that was the first year that they had this program. For me, I did not know, I didn't have the knowledge base, the friendship, the companionship across the country. So for me, I've become friends with hundreds of people through the program. You take pride in watching others succeed. You most often don't hear the proud things of First Nation people, Indigenous people. You hear more of the challenges. So for me, this program has allowed me to see all of the great things that are going on and how you can help and learn from others and help other people grow.
I'm a previous Catalyst myself, and a lot of the experience that I gained through that program was through other mentors. That networking and being able to bounce ideas off of people of your peers that are working on the same things as you, that have experience beyond what you have, can help you out in your journey, is much more valuable than anyone can really describe. I'd say it's a lot to do with like the skills that you gain through a program like this one. 3 weeks is a lot of time to learn a lot of things, especially when it comes to like being focused on Indigenous energy. I've never seen a program like this that focused on something and upheld people in the way that this one does.
I think why the Catalyst program is so different than other programs that we see is because it's with heart and soul and love. And a lot of time in the clean energy sector, we don't talk about love. And so why we do this work in clean energy is to make sure that we can care for each other, care for our people, and care for the land in the way that it's always been intended to. And so the Catalyst program gives us the accessibility, the resources, and the support to be able to be the stewards of the land that our ancestors would want to see today. The Catalyst program shows us the power we have within ourselves.
That was my first time going to the East Coast, and it was really, really life-changing, like meeting everyone from across Turtle Island, across this red earth, to learn something together and collectively grow with each other. It's been really great, and so far my experience, life-changing. It's wonderful.
I think programs like this are important because when you think about the system of a tree, you have to start with the roots. Every single thing that we do in the community is connected to energy. And so this is really about a transfer of agency and a transfer of power back to our communities. So one thing that everyone talks about here is self-sufficiency and sovereignty. The start of that, the start of actually being a nation, but you need to be able to generate your own power. It's literally generating power, but it's also taking back power and asserting autonomy over the direction that you want to go. So this program is so critically important because it's enabling all these people year over year to start to understand how they can actually do these things that we're talking about out in the world.
I'm really thankful to have this opportunity, and I really encourage others to come and join us. Make our family huge, make our family reach all around the world, because we need to save this world. Even though there's everyone telling you out there, oh, it's not gonna work, those are tests. Oh, you're not gonna get the support. That's another test right there. It's a test to see how far you can go, how far you believe in yourself, how much you believe in yourself to do this. And if you really care about making it to the next day, well, then you gotta make sure that you're doing your part to make sure our Mother Earth is taken care of, because she took care of our other generations back then. So now we have to do what they've done and secure a better future for the generations to come.
All right. So thanks for watching that. I mean, that really covers over a lot of things I said. The community is a really important part of it and really helps out. So if you have any questions about participation or partnerships or that sort of thing, hey, there's a good amount of information on our website at Indigenous-clean-energy.com. Our applications for the 2020 program are currently open for the 2024 cohort. They're open until the end of November. So I encourage you to take a look and to apply. But if you have any questions, you can contact Justice Morningstar, who's the program manager at jmorningstar at Indigenous-clean-energy.com. Thanks so much.
Wow, thank you. Sign me up. That video, that just made my heart like that made my heart really happy. Oh, what a great program. So thank you both for sharing about your two initiatives. Very, very important initiatives. I know that Ken in the chat box had a couple of questions. And the first one, and I agree, where's the funding coming from for this excellent program? So I think he said that more after the bringing it home.
Oh, okay. Well, we have many different partners that provide us with funding. I mean, it's a bit of it's a mix of a little bit of everything. I mean, we've got some government organizations, we have some foundations, we've actually connected with provincial utilities and things like that to support, you know, like I think BC Hydro, we've connected with them to support a BC community participant coming through the program. So I mean, we're wherever possible, and I mean the $125,000 grant, yeah, that was a big thing for us because that work takes time, it takes energy, you need money to actually get off the ground and do that work. So I mean, that was important for us to get that. And so yeah, we're working on find always looking for more. So if you know anyone, let me know. But yeah, we have a big mix of partners that we work with.
It's also quite similar for the 2020 program.
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't mention during the presentation is that the cost of the participation is absolutely free for the participants. So that's all covered, all of their travel and accommodations and all of that. We just require your time and commitment.
Yeah, same for the Bringing It Home program.
Oh, so amazing. So I also want to know, Ken had asked this about the training venue for the 2020 video. Where was that?
So we were in Vancouver, out in Burnaby. We were at one of the hotels out there in Burnaby area, and then we also visited several facilities for some tours. They have some interesting projects going on in Vancouver as well that we went to visit. So in and around there. Yeah.
Well, no wonder why it was so gorgeous. All right. Well, I really appreciate that both of you took the time to be here and let us know what's going on. I feel like is Bringing It Home relatively new initiative?
Yeah, like the Project Accelerator program that we are running currently, that's pretty new. I mean, it was at least I'd say about 2 years in development. It started as an idea, working with these communities and understanding where we needed to go and where the support was needed. And then we took that idea and developed this program. And so, yeah, we launched our first cohort in June of this year. So it's pretty fresh. So hoping for many more years of running this.
Oh, and we wish you so much success because it is really, really needed. And I really appreciated what I think it was one of the women who said in the video, our ancestors were the stewards of the lands. And for us, for me who lives in an urban center, right, I have to consciously and intentionally remember, that aspect of who we are as a people, that we are meant to take care of this land. And it's programs like that really build that capacity, that remind us of our values. So I so appreciate what you do. Keep going, and we hope so much success for you all. Any other questions? We're going to open up before we say Eximaga. That's it. That's all. Okay, Ken, come on in.
I've got a question on the Bring It Home program. In the future, are you considering a homeowners webinar or training? Could be multifaceted. Say one day could be fixing or repairing home problems like ice dams and icicles on the roof. So the one day on solving various problems like leaking doors, leaking windows, ice dams. Those are the ones that come to mind. And then another day could be cold floors. Another one could be leaky ceilings. Another one could be we talked about windows and doors. Other one could be ceiling insulation, floor insulation, wall insulation, etc. So you could this is for homeowners and home maintainers, not for the tradesmen that are going to do the upgrades or retrofits, but you have to convince the homeowners that they need it. Other than being another one that comes to mind could be energy or heat bypasses. Where in your existing home is your heat going out other than drafts and leaking. Anyway, enough from me. Just a suggestion.
No, it's a really good suggestion, Ken, because the in-home maintenance is a very important part to efficiency. You can build the best home in the world if you're not doing the maintenance, it's not going to last. So that community home occupant education piece is very important to us, and we want to make sure that it's happening in all of the projects that we're supporting. I can let you know that I don't know if we'll ever have some like homeowners or home occupant specific programming, but we are. I mentioned the ICE network earlier. I think I mentioned the ICE network earlier. If not, it's icenet.work. We have an online resource library there, and we actually have some videos, sort of how you're sort of describing, like so how to do some install of certain things. We've created. We have a couple of video series, so you can even check out the Indigenous Clean Energy YouTube channel. We have a couple of videos on there. We have a Cookham's House video series with about 3 or 4 episodes right now. So yeah, as we grow and as these projects hit the ground and these resources are developed, we're hoping to sort of take them and put them onto our free portal so that they're widely accessible. That's the idea there as well. So we're always sharing these best practices more broadly, and you know, success through collaboration is really important for us. So.
And as what I was reminded, because I actually wrote this down, because you said in your presentation, you know, well, we all know, like on our First Nation communities, housing is such an issue. But you had said, which I like astounded me, was, you know, 7 to 15 years versus like 30 to 35 years. Holy, that's huge a discrepancy. Yeah. So that was mind blowing to me. All right. Well, good resources, good presentation. It's all about building capacity and empowering the people. And that's what y'all are doing. So thank you so much for being here. Take care. And everyone who joined, we just honor you and thank you for being here. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having us. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.